you know. Um, I love it when you talk about decolonizing timelines. What does
Mhm.
that mean? What does that mean? Allow me to decolonize your timeline. What can you define that for me?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I didn't even know that that was like a tagline of mine. Mind you, I've been doing this for 2 weeks, but like people are like so looking forward to it. I've had folks from all walks of life, like Black folks who follow me that are like, thank you for posting this. Like I would have never known this was happening, or like I didn't even know that country was a place. You know, that it's coming from a right place in their right hearts, but it's just that exposure of it, right? So when I say decolonize, honestly, I started it off because I wanted to talk about the Garifuna leaders who have gone missing in Honduras. So just to start off, I was born here in America. My family is from Nicaragua. I'm the first one in my family born in America. So all of my siblings, my parents, all of my cousins, uncles, nephews, all of them are over there. Um, so when I was having this conversation around Latinidad in the US, I started to notice that that video went so viral that there were white Latinos who were not a part of the US starting to comment on that conversation and saying, well, I'm from Uruguay. Like my parents are Italian and Spaniard, and of course I'm white. I don't understand why US Latinos don't see that. And like seeing those comments rolling in, I started to realize, oh my God, I made this video totally centered with the US lens. What am I doing? Like, I didn't think, first of all, I didn't think it would go that big.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. I was just having a little conversation on my little TikTok.
It caught you off guard. Yeah.
You know? So that's the first thing. And the second thing, I was just like, oh my God, I'm literally doing what I talk about the most, what I comment on the most, right? Like, it's not always about the US, it's not always about you. Um, so when I was going through things that I do normally, I love that you said I have so many specialties on TikTok because that's why it's Life of Leva. It's about my life. Um, I read Central American news all the time. Like I said, my uncles are over there, my aunts, my nieces, nephews, cousins that I speak to on the daily, and I hate not knowing what's going on in the region. I
And
hate it.
since my father's from Panama, I always get mad at you when you don't talk about Panama because you talk about Central America and you forget me.
I don't forget. So what I do specifically is I try to do two countries a TikTok because it's only a minute,
Yeah.
right? So I try to hit two countries at a time so I can really dive in depth. Panama is coming out today. So I have it, right? So it's like I usually do Belize and Costa Rica, and I go in alphabetical order. So I do Belize and Costa Rica, which everyone's like, you forget Belize. And it's like, Belize was the first video out. Like, don't come for me.
That's just the way TikTok goes, though. Right?
Yeah, oh yeah, always.
And you're like, I have 60 seconds. Like, I'm getting to it, right? I'm coming.
Yeah. So I don't know. So in terms of decolonizing the timeline, it's just like,
what does that mean?
so to me, it's like everything that we do is through the colonizer's lens, is through the white man's lens, especially here in the United States, right? For the sole fact that people don't know where Nicaragua is,
Don't get me.
it's such like a one-sided view of the world. And I think it's one of America's biggest illnesses. We are so narcissistic that all we know is the world from our point of view. For Pete's sake, our champions are world champions of basketball or the world champions of baseball. No, we're not. Like, go play baseball with someone in the DR and then let's talk, you know, like.
Yeah, the World Series.
Right. So for me, decolonize your timeline is like, hey, snap out of the US majority and listen to what's happening around another side of the world.
I love that. Thank you for explaining that because I had no idea. I didn't understand it, and now it makes.
That makes a lot of sense.
Snap out of it.
Allow me to decolonize your time. 1 minute, right? Because if not, the next TikTok you're gonna see is about what happened in North Carolina or a protester was shot in Oregon yesterday, which is important. Do not get me wrong, but it's like there's so much happening around the world, you know. And for people who are like, oh, like what this president is doing is not a dictatorship. It's not authoritarianism. It's like, really? Because I can point to 3 presidents in Central America who are doing the same thing and we as a country go to war with them. But I digress, you know, like it's like, let me just allow you to open your eyes a little bit outside of what you know. And Central America is a region that no one ever talks about, at least from my perspective growing up. And like people don't even know the countries that are there. they've never heard them in Latinidad. So for me, it's like uplifting my people.
I love the fact that you talk about Latinidad, and I love the fact that people are starting to become aware. I mean, it may sound stupid, but people are starting to become aware that America is not the United States.
I can't believe that's taken so long. It's so sad. Like,
America is from Canada all the way down to Uruguay, Argentina, and so when we say America, it's not, you know, the United States.
several like thoughts and feelings about that. So I studied in college. My major was geography, and I actually thought it was really powerful. A lot of people made fun of me for studying geography, and now I am so thankful that I studied geography at that level in college, because it was never taught in our school systems, right? Like, I know where Central America is. I understood the concept of America and all of those things because we learned it through geography and geography courses, but geography is not taught in schools, not at that level. Maybe you take like one class or whatever, but like, for example, that was a huge thing that we took away from our, like, the humanities side of our geography classes in the Bellamy building. Shout out.
I had many classes there. I took an intro geography class.
Oh my God, was it with Friedel? What's his name? He's kind of angry little man.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, him. So, you know, always be like, don't hold hand. You can't go to a country by holding hands with other Americans. You know, like, that's not the right way to like study abroad. And if everybody took something like that, like on that level, like, yeah, he was little, but anyway, I didn't realize how many people did not realize that America should not be like labeled as America.
Yeah, and that's the concept behind Decolonize Your Timeline.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just going to take 1 minute. Let me tell you what's happening in another country. It's snapshots, right? I'm not giving you like the evening news, and I'm not giving you what happened that very exact day, but it's like, hey, this is happening, just so you're aware. And it's just, I do that all the time. Like, that's something that I do with my best friends. Like, I will literally send them clippings from things that are happening in Nicaragua, and I'll literally on my WhatsApp just be like, in Nicaragua news, and send it to my friends, and they're like cracking up, and like, we have so much fun. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna talk about what's happening in Honduras on TikTok really quick, because Garifuna leaders, which is an Afro-Indigenous group in Honduras, have gone missing. Like, they were literally kidnapped by the police, and and for me, I'm like, nobody's talking about it, and it's been about 2 months. So I was like, let me just make a quick little TikTok and talk about the ethnocides that are happening.
And it's so common to a lot of our history. Chile went through that. Argentina went through that. Now you're talking about Honduras. Tell us what's your tag name on TikTok?
At Life of Leva.
Life of Leva.
Yeah, it's a tag on Instagram, on Twitter. It's just me.
And I have another question, but if you want to go ahead, Destiny.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in really quick. I have 2 questions. The first one is with the decolonizing the timeline. I don't remember who I was talking to about this, but what you said reminded me of this conversation. It was that nobody realizes that the United States is an empire. That when you stop and think about it, the U.S. is an empire in the way that we view or viewed in history when we're taught European history, you know, the United Kingdom. They were a dynasty, right? Or the Ottoman Empire. They go through, but through that lens and the criteria that we understand an empire to be, is the U.S. an empire? In a way.
Absolutely. Dude, the U.S. has been involved with every single country in Latin America. Like, they're literally the ones who are literally placing dictators, taking dictators away,
Yep.
arming militia, arming guerrillas, and then when things go bad, they're like, oh crap, amnesty. You know, it's like, what? That doesn't make up for it. And now it's like, well, we really messed up, but we don't want immigrants anymore. And it's like, you caused this problem. It was you, buddy.